Have you ever wondered if African forest elephants hold the secret to the best natural skincare routine? Well, you're not alone. Welcome to the intriguing world of African forest elephants, where myths and reality often cross paths, leaving us in a state of wonderment. These magnificent creatures, known for their towering presence and gentle demeanor, are often shrouded in an array of misconceptions that are as fascinating as they are amusing. One such popular myth is the idea of elephants using mud as a sunscreen. Yes, you heard that right. In the beauty-conscious world of today, it seems even elephants are not far behind. They are often seen splashing around in mud, giving the impression of indulging in an elaborate skincare routine. But is there any truth to this, or is it just another amusing myth? Well, hold on to your hats, as we're about to take a wild ride through the dense African forests to uncover the truth. As we saunter through this journey, we'll be debunking such myths in a way that's guaranteed to tickle your funny bone. Our aim is not just to educate but to entertain, to not just impart knowledge but to induce laughter. Because let's face it, who wouldn't want to learn while having a good laugh? So, prepare yourself to be amazed, amused, and enlightened as we delve deep into the heart of the African forests, shedding light on the extraordinary lives of these forest elephants. We promise you an adventure like no other, filled with surprising facts, hilarious myths, and a whole lot of elephantine fun. And remember, while we may love the idea of elephants indulging in a lavish mud bath for skincare, the reality may be far more fascinating. So let's not jump to conclusions. Instead, let's embark on this exciting journey of discovery together. Now, let's dive into the world of African forest elephants and discover the truth behind these myths. So, you think elephants are just big fans of spa days, huh? Well, let's dive into the muddy waters of this myth. We've all seen those images of African forest elephants frolicking in the mud, their thick hides coated in a layer of earthy goo. It's easy to imagine them indulging in a luxurious mud mask, perhaps while sipping on a cool drink from a coconut shell. But, alas, the reality is far from this idyllic spa fantasy. You see, these elephants aren't catching up on their beauty sleep or trying to achieve that perfect youthful elephant glow. No. Instead, they're indulging in a makeshift insect repellent routine. That's right, folks, elephants use mud as a handy-dandy bug shield. In the balmy African forests, insects are as plentiful as the trees. And when you're as large as an African forest elephant, that's a lot of surface area for pesky bugs to explore. So what's an elephant to do? Well, they take a dip in the nearest mud bath, of course. The mud, once it dries, creates a protective barrier between their skin and the onslaught of annoying nibblers. It's like a cool, soothing armor that also helps them regulate their body temperature, because let's face it, air conditioning isn't exactly an option in the wild. But wait, there's more! The mud also serves as a sort of exfoliating treatment. When they rub against trees to remove the dried mud, dead skin and parasites come off too. It's a natural spa treatment with a practical twist. So next time you see an elephant lounging in the mud, don't be quick to envy their spa day. They're not basking in the glow of a mud mask, they're warding off unwanted insect attention. To sum it up, it's a life in the wild that calls for some muddy measures. No sunscreen, no anti-aging, just a simple, effective way to keep the bugs at bay. So, if you ever see an elephant in a mud bath, remember it's not a beauty regimen, it's a bug repellent. Sure, elephants never forget, but can they remember where they put their keys? Now that's a question that has been plaguing the minds of many animal enthusiasts for decades. It is a widely accepted notion that elephants have a superhuman memory, but how true is this claim? Well, let's dive into the fascinating world of the African forest elephant to find out. Firstly, let's clear up a common misconception. Elephants don't remember everything. They're not walking, trumpeting hard drives with unlimited storage capacity. They can't remember where they last saw their favorite tree, or the last time they had a mud bath. So if you're an elephant and you've misplaced your keys, you might be out of luck. However, it's not all doom and gloom for our elephantine friends. They do have a remarkable knack for remembering certain things. For instance, they have an uncanny ability to remember the locations of water sources. Now, that's definitely a useful skill to have, especially if you're an elephant living in the arid regions of Africa. You see, an elephant's memory is linked to its survival. Knowing where to find water during the dry season, or remembering the migratory route to a safer location can be the difference between life and death for these majestic creatures. But remembering where they left their keys? Not so much. And let's not forget, elephants are social animals. They remember other elephants and the experiences they've shared. This social memory helps them recognize friends and foes and learn from past experiences. But again, this doesn't extend to remembering every single detail of their lives. So, yes, elephants do have a good memory, but it's not as extraordinary as we often believe. It's more practical and survival-focused than we give it credit for, and it certainly doesn't involve remembering where they left their keys. In conclusion, the myth of the elephant's extraordinary memory is just that, a myth. It's a charming idea, but not entirely accurate. So, next time you lose your keys, maybe don't ask an elephant for help. Ever heard the one about elephants being afraid of mice? Yeah, me too. Now let's take a moment to examine this amusing myth, shall we? We can probably all recall a classic cartoon scene where a tiny mouse scurries by, causing a massive elephant to jump up onto a chair, trembling in fear. It's a comical image, isn't it? But like many things we see on TV, it's not exactly rooted in reality. The myth that elephants are terrified of mice likely originated from these very cartoons. This misrepresentation, while providing a hearty laugh, does a disservice to these magnificent creatures by reducing them to the punchline of a joke. It's high time we set the record straight. In reality, elephants have no natural fear of mice. It's not that they are fearless creatures, but they don't go scampering up trees at the sight of a little rodent. The idea that a creature as grand and dignified as an elephant could be scared of something as small and harmless as a mouse is rather absurd when you really think about it. You see, elephants are incredibly intelligent animals with excellent memory. They are capable of recognizing and remembering potential threats. Now, unless a mouse is armed with a tiny sword and shield, it's safe to say that it doesn't pose much of a threat to an elephant. Furthermore, elephants have poor eyesight. They wouldn't be able to spot a mouse unless it's right under their trunk. So, the chances of an elephant even noticing a mouse, let alone being frightened by one, are pretty slim. Scientifically speaking, there's no evidence to suggest that elephants are afraid of mice. This myth is likely just a result of our human tendency to create entertaining narratives, even if they aren't exactly factual. So, the next time you watch a cartoon featuring an elephant leaping onto a stool at the sight of a mouse, remember this. Elephants are far more complex and fascinating than any cartoon can portray. They are creatures worthy of our respect and admiration, not our laughter. So it turns out Dumbo might not be as scared of a little mouse as we thought. Now what about the myth that all elephants love the savannah? Let's set the record straight. Not all elephants are fans of wide open spaces. Some, like our friend the African forest elephant, much prefer the dense, lush greenery of the forest. Yes, that's right, these unique creatures are woodland dwellers at heart. You might ask, why the forest? Well, the forest is a treasure trove filled with all the goodies an African forest elephant could want. There are leaves, bark, and fruit aplenty, not to mention the occasional mud pool for a quick spa session. And let's not forget, the forest provides excellent cover from the scorching African sun and potential predators. Talk about a prime real estate location. But it's not just about the amenities. These elephants are perfectly adapted to forest life. They're smaller in size compared to their savanna cousins, which allows them to navigate the dense undergrowth with ease. And their tusks, their tusks. They curve inward and downward, a handy tool for plowing through vegetation and unearthing hidden treats. Now, don't get the wrong idea. African forest elephants aren't recluses. They're simply creatures of comfort who know what they like. And what they like is the forest, their home sweet home. But here's a little secret. This love for the forest isn't just about personal preference, it's also about survival. African forest elephants play a crucial role in maintaining the health and diversity of their forest habitats. By eating and excreting seeds, they help to spread plant life, acting as the forest's very own gardeners. So, the next time someone tells you that all elephants live in the savannah, you can confidently debunk that myth. The African forest elephant is a forest dweller, through and through. So, next time you're on a safari, don't forget to check the forest for these elusive giants.